On a tense Saturday, the Senate confirmed Jeanine Pirro, better known for her fiery TV persona than her courtroom work, as the new U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. The decision came after hours of heated debate, with lawmakers split over whether her background in television commentary outweighed her years as a judge and prosecutor. For many, the confirmation marked a dramatic moment in the ongoing clash between traditional legal experience and the growing influence of media personalities in government. This is one of the most powerful prosecutorial roles in the country, overseeing cases from local crime to national scandals. The U.S. Attorney for D.C. not only prosecutes federal crimes, but also handles some of the most sensitive political investigations in the nation's capital. The office has a long history of shaping the legal landscape, and its leader wields significant influence over justice in Washington. Pirro's appointment by President Trump and her confirmation have ignited fierce debate about the merging of media, politics, and law. Some see her as a symbol of a new era where public image and media savvy are as important as legal credentials. Others worry that this trend could undermine the independence of the justice system. Supporters see a tough, experienced legal mind. They point to her years on the bench and her reputation for being unafraid to take on difficult cases. They argue that her high profile could bring new energy and attention to the office, potentially making it more effective in high-stakes prosecutions. Critics warn of a partisan loyalist at the helm of impartial justice. They fear her outspoken political views and close ties to the Trump administration could influence decisions on politically charged cases, raising questions about fairness and objectivity in the nation's capital. Her journey from Fox News host to D.C.'s top prosecutor is a striking sign of the times. It reflects a broader shift in American society, where the lines between media, politics, and law are increasingly blurred, and where public perception can shape careers as much as professional achievements. We'll explore her legal background, the controversy over her nomination, and what her leadership could mean for the Capitol attack prosecutions. With so much at stake, her decisions in the coming months will be closely watched by both supporters and critics alike. Pirro's rise is more than a headline. It's a case study in the current state of American politics. Her story highlights the tensions and challenges facing the justice system as it navigates an era of deep polarization and rapid change. As the dust settles, all eyes are on how a former TV host will wield the immense power of this office. The nation waits to see whether Jeanine Pirro will rise to the challenge and redefine what it means to serve as the top prosecutor in the nation's capital. Before her rise to television fame, Jeanine Pirro spent decades immersed in New York's justice system, first as an ambitious assistant district attorney, where she prosecuted a wide range of cases and built a reputation for her tenacity and sharp legal mind. She then made history as Westchester County's first female elected district attorney, a role she held for over a decade, overseeing high-profile prosecutions and leading major criminal justice reforms in the region. Later, Pirro served as a judge, presiding over complex cases and earning respect for her courtroom presence and legal expertise. Supporters point to this three-decade legal career as proof of her deep qualifications and experience to lead D.C.'s U.S. Attorney's Office, arguing that her record demonstrates a lifelong commitment to justice and public service. Yet for many Americans, Pirro is recognized almost exclusively as a Fox News personality, her legal past overshadowed by her media presence. Her show, Justice with Judge Jeanine, transformed her into a fierce, outspoken, and often polarizing defender of President Trump and his policies, making her a household name among conservative viewers. This dramatic shift from public servant to political commentator is central to the controversy now surrounding her. Supporters see a seasoned legal expert with a proven track record, someone who understands the law from every angle and isn't afraid to speak her mind. Critics, however, see a political loyalist whose recent years were spent advocating for a single viewpoint, raising concerns about her impartiality and objectivity. Her work at Fox News, where legal analysis often blurred with political cheerleading, has led many to question whether she can separate her personal beliefs from her professional duties if appointed to a powerful legal post. This dual identity, veteran prosecutor versus partisan TV host, lies at the heart of the debate over her fitness for the job, fueling passionate arguments on both sides. As the nation watches, the question remains: which version of Jeanine Pirro will ultimately show up in the courtroom, the impartial legal expert or the outspoken media firebrand? Much of the opposition to Pirro's confirmation centers on her role after the 2020 election. As a Fox News host, she amplified baseless claims that the election was stolen, especially targeting Dominion voting systems. These falsehoods became central to Dominion's massive defamation lawsuit against Fox, which ended in a $787 million settlement. Critics argue that someone who spread disinformation undermining democracy is unfit to enforce the law impartially. During her confirmation hearings, Pirro's answers about her knowledge of Trump's pardons and the Capitol attack were seen as evasive. For many, her history of election denial and her testimony painted a picture of someone prioritizing political loyalty over facts. The controversy over her statements and actions remains a fundamental challenge to her credibility. Her critics see this as a disqualifying record for a chief federal prosecutor. Pirro's confirmation vote was a stark display of Washington's deep partisan divide. The Senate approved her by a narrow 50-45 margin, almost entirely along party lines. Even moderate Republicans who'd previously opposed Trump nominees ultimately backed Pirro, disappointing those hoping for bipartisan resistance. Democrats united in opposition, citing her election conspiracies and partisan commentary as grave concerns. They warned her appointment could politicize the Department of Justice. Republicans dismissed these criticisms, emphasizing her legal experience and framing her as a law and order candidate. The final vote cemented another Trump loyalist in a key federal role. For supporters, it was a victory for strength and experience. For opponents, a blow to impartial justice. The stage was set for a new era in D.C.'s top prosecutor's office. Pirro now oversees the prosecution stemming from the January 6th Capitol attack, cases she once publicly criticized. As U.S. Attorney, she holds significant influence over hundreds of ongoing cases, including those involving serious felonies. Earlier, Pirro even agreed with calls to prosecute the very prosecutors she now leads. Critics fear she may interfere, offer lenient deals, or slow investigations, especially for Trump loyalists. Legal experts warn she can't dismiss all cases, but she can shift priorities and reassign staff. Career prosecutors now face a leader who's openly questioned their mission, raising concerns about the pursuit of justice. The office's future and the fate of the Capitol attack cases hangs in the balance. Pirro's appointment is the latest example of the Trump Fox News pipeline, where media personalities move directly into powerful government roles. She's the 23rd Fox News figure tapped for a Trump administration post, joining the ranks of John Bolton and Heather Nauert. For Trump, these appointees are trusted voices who've proven their loyalty on air. Critics argue this trend threatens good governance, prioritizing political messaging over expertise. The appointment of media loyalists to key justice roles blurs the line between public service and political advocacy. Pirro's confirmation is the most striking example yet, placing a partisan commentator in a role demanding impartiality. This move pushes the boundaries of tradition, raising questions about the future of the justice system. The Trump-Fox News connection has never been more visible or more controversial. Despite the uproar, Pirro's supporters rallied behind her, calling the criticism partisan and unfair. They highlight her decades as a prosecutor, judge, and DA as proof of her credentials. To them, her law and order stance and outsider status are assets, not liabilities. Her direct style, seen by critics as divisive, is praised by fans as strength. Republican senators argued her legal experience outweighs concerns about her media career. Some even say her time in TV gives her valuable communication skills for a high-profile office. For her base, Pirro's confirmation is a victory against the establishment and mainstream media. They see her as a truth-teller, not a partisan loyalist, and welcome her as a needed change in D.C. Her supporters believe she'll restore order and aggressively prosecute crime in the Capitol. The opposition to Pirro's confirmation was fierce and rooted in concerns for the justice system's integrity. Democrats and legal experts argued her partisan rhetoric and loyalty to Trump make impartial justice impossible. Her role in spreading election conspiracies was seen as a dangerous contradiction for a top law enforcement official. Critics also pointed to her calls to prosecute Trump's political rivals, fearing she'd weaponize the DOJ. Overseeing the January 6th cases after condemning the prosecutors involved was viewed as an unacceptable conflict of interest. Opponents warned her leadership could chill independent prosecutions and erode the DOJ's independence. For them, her confirmation marked a dark day for American justice and a turning point for the Department of Justice. The fear prosecutorial decisions could now be driven by politics, not the law. With Pirro installed as D.C.'s U.S. Attorney, a new era begins for the city's justice system, one marked by uncertainty and intense national attention. Federal law enforcement in the capital enters uncharted territory, as agents and officials brace for changes in priorities and oversight. The immediate question: how will she handle the January 6 prosecutions under her watch? These cases are among the most high-profile in recent history, and her approach could redefine accountability for political violence. Career prosecutors must continue their work under a leader who's openly criticized their mission, raising concerns about morale and the independence of ongoing investigations. Any sign of political interference, lenient deals, dropped charges, or sudden shifts in legal strategy will be closely watched by the public, the media, and Congress. Beyond the capital cases, Pirro's leadership could affect public corruption investigations and the office's credibility, influencing how future cases are prosecuted and how justice is perceived nationwide. Her appointment sets a precedent. Media figures with partisan backgrounds can now lead top law enforcement offices, blurring the boundaries between journalism, advocacy, and public service. This blurs the line between advocacy and public service, potentially eroding public trust and making it harder for citizens to believe in the system's fairness. For supporters, it's a win for conservative voices. They see Pirro as someone who will challenge what they view as a biased system. For critics, it's a threat to the rule of law and a dangerous politicization of justice, raising fears about selective enforcement and fairness. As Pirro begins her tenure, the stakes could not be higher for the integrity of the justice system in the nation's capital. Every move will be scrutinized by a divided nation, with both sides ready to react to even the smallest decision or policy shift. The consequences of this appointment will shape American justice for years to come, influencing not just D.C., but the entire country's faith in the rule of law.